case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
The Supreme Court of Indiana in 2009 reviewed a unique case, Hamilton v. Hamilton. On trial was the complex and rarely visited practice of one state's court enforcing and modifying a different state's child support orders, a practice whose specifics are left largely to the discretion of the court. According to a Florida court's original support order, Richard was held in contempt after failing to meet his full child support obligations toward Suzanne. Faced with this judgment, Suzanne filed the said judgment and contempt order in Indiana, her home state, for enforcement and potentially alteration. The Indiana court readily acknowledged the Florida child support judgment, however. It held its reservations on what concerned the harsh 170-day jail sentence. Instead, it found Richard in contempt, but reduced his sentence substantially. To avoid jail time, Richard would need to pay a reduced sum of $3,750, followed by a monthly payment of $1,250 until his total debt of $20,466.50 was fully cleared. Suzanne accused Richard of not meeting Indiana court's modifications. She sought to find him in contempt and pressed for higher monthly payments along with stricter enforcement of the original Florida support order. Despite Suzanne's pleas, the trial court came out in favor of Richard, pointing to the Federal Consumer Credit Protection Act as a plausible defense. The Court of Indiana finally ruled that the initial decision not to find Richard in contempt, albeit stemming from the somewhat bewildering Federal Consumer Credit Protection Act, was justifiable under certain conditions. However, if the original ruling was informed by erroneous FCCPA garnishment limitations, it mandated that the case be remanded for a determination of contempt. Ultimately, Richard's request for appellate attorney fees was flatly turned down. Validating the long and winding court process, the Supreme Court of Indiana affirmed the decision of the lower court.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.